Can only hope that the vice presidential debate next week will turn into a demolition derby. Joining me for a preview are two aficionados of mutually assured destruction in our Los Angeles bureau, nationally syndicated radio talk show host Stephanie Miller, and also joining us, equally nationally syndicated radio talk show host Ben Ferguson. Stephanie, let me talk with you. Are these the kind of vice presidential candidates the candidates need at the moment?
Oh, well, I think, Sarah Palin at this point is kind of a Category 5 disaster. I think if the Charlie Gibson interview was the Titanic, the Katie Couric one was kind of the Hindenburg. No wonder they're trying to get the vice presidential debate canceled. Did you see that move? If John McCain hadn't showed up for the debate, he's like, oh, but we could have it when the vice presidential one is supposed to be.
Yeah, but at the same time, many people have said she's not that experienced. Ben, Joe Biden is hugely experienced. For him to be saying things like this ad should have never run is stunning.
Or how about what no one's talking about, which is the fact that he said that FDR in 1929 went on TV and told people things are going to be okay. Well, he wasn't president when there was a big crash to the markets then, and they didn't have TVs in 1929. So, I mean, this guy's just saying, hey, FDR really calmed people down on TV. I'm going, do you not even know who the president was then? Did you not realize there wasn't TVs back then? I mean, this guy's got the experience. So they take the shots at Palin. The point is, it's tough day in and day out to answer a whole bunch of questions. And when someone wants to knock you down, and they go after you on something they think that you may not remember at that moment, it's going to happen. But when you're claiming that, TVs were around when they weren't, you can take the same shot. I think this debate, though, I hope it gets to real issues and doesn't get for this little tit-for-tat, I got you stuff. I hope they get to have a real debate because the American people, honestly, after all we've seen, they really deserve it.
What do you think they should be talking about, Ben? What issues?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing is going to be, that, especially with these two guys, is the economy. I mean, they need to be able to talk to you about the economy. They both think that they have more experience than the other person. They obviously need to be talking about energy and gas prices. That's something that should play very well to Sarah Palin's hand. And Joe Biden's going to be the guy that's going to want to talk about national security because he's going to claim that he's shaking more hands with foreign leaders than Sarah Palin has. I hope
Stephanie, jump in here, though. Are those the issues you want, Stephanie, and do you think those will play into your team's
Excuse me, that's all Sarah Palin has done is shaken hands. That was her foreign policy speed dating.
Same with Barack Obama.
She's like the
Barack
spokesmodel category.
Give Stephanie a chance to jump in here.
Star Search.
Go ahead,
she's like
Stephanie.
the spokesmodel. She's not even a vice presidential candidate. She's a vice presidential spokesmodel. Since when do you only get photos of her meeting foreign leaders?
Stephanie, what
You're
about
not
those
allowed
issues?
to ask questions?
What about those issues Ben is bringing up there? Are those the issues you want to hear your guy engage Sarah Palin on?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to hear the foreign policy debate between Joe Biden and Sarah Palin. Please, his FDR thing, I think he misspoke about staying on TV. The fact is, he did try to calm people and clean up after yet another Republican economic mess. So this is exactly what the Barack Obama administration
He claimed that a president... He claimed that a president did something that he didn't do and claimed he had this great speech on TV when there wasn't TV. I mean, at least own up to it when there's an oops on your campaign. Ben. It's a legitimate oops.
That misspeak is the same as saying that you can see Alaska or you can see Russia from your house, and that's foreign policy experience. Not knowing what the Bush doctrine is.
Let me ask you guys about something else. I want to get your opinion on something else here. We were looking at the votes missed by some of these folks during the course of this whole thing. John McCain missed 412 votes in the current Congress. Obama missed 295 votes. They're in the top 4 vote missers, as you can see here in this whole process. Let me ask you both a really simple question that I think a lot of normal voters might ask. If we're going to have presidential campaigns that last a year and a half or 2 years, should both parties be saying, if you're a senator, if you're a representative, if you're a governor, you should resign before you run, because nobody else gets to go on a 2-year job interview while keeping their current job and doing it part-time. Stephanie?
Well, I don't know if... Go ahead, Steph.
He's throwing his voice now. Tom, I think that, that's actually a fair point. And I think it's, McCain has tried this, criticizing Obama for missing a vote when he clearly has missed twice as many, and particularly on some important bills. So I think that, you actually raise a good point.
What are the important bills?
Well, hold on, Ben. When you say what important bills, theoretically, if a bill is being brought forward in the U.S. Congress, shouldn't they all be important?
But my point is, I want to know what important bill that John McCain didn't vote on that Barack Obama did vote on. Barack Obama wasn't going to go back to vote on the economy, and and John McCain had to literally force him to go to Washington and do his job as a senator, which he has not done. He's had the worst voting record overall of any senator since he got in office.
Are you really going to defend?
Right now.
this cheap political stunt that John McCain pulled that just backfired because now he looks like an even bigger idiot.
We'll see what the polls say
he's going to go debate
Stephanie.
anyway, even though they don't have a financial bailout.
Let me ask you guys both, though.
He's not even on the committee that he would have anything to do with it.
Frustration over all of this, don't both of you every now and then just shake your head and say, look, cheap political stunts, both parties have plenty of them to go around, and both parties ought to get a little more serious about not doing them.
Well, name one that Barack Obama has pulled.
The economy and what's been going on with the economy. I mean, if it's cheap to go back to Washington and try to fix when, by the way, the biggest bank failure in history happened this past week. You also had the largest Chevrolet dealership, because they couldn't get financing, not because of a scandal, closed down in the same week. I think that's a good reason to go back to Washington and do your job like we're talking about as a senator, and not fly around the country and say, hey, vote for me. And I have not given an economic package yet, which Barack Obama has not done. And Stephanie, I'll ask you again. I won't interrupt.
You know
Tell
very
me what his
well.
package is for the
You
economy.
know very well that John McCain is not even on the committee. He's not even allowed in the room that's negotiating this. Even Republicans have said that he is distinctly unhelpful in this process.
Well, as long as we've got folks,
distinctly unhelpful.
as long as we've got folks like you two hashing it out, I'm sure we can get agreement on everything. Good to have you. As always, Ben and Stephanie, come back. We got a few more weeks to go.